Alright, just kicking off another recording. Let's load into it. Alright, here we are. After last time, I'd been thinking about this a little bit more and realized that I was calling this whole thing complete, and I had completely forgotten about limestone. Just completely forgot it. So, honestly, the limestone setup isn't much of anything. Looking back to my diagram here, it's just one miner underclocked by 25% going into one constructor. So I'm actually just gonna not worry too much about this and just set up my old limestone setup right here on the ground. Hook it up to power. And call that good enough. Okay, can't quite do that. Let's just pop down one more power pole, sort of off the edge here. Do that. And then I'll actually set a recipe for it. And that should be good. And at least then I'll continue concrete production. I suppose what I will do is set up some proper storage for this. Oh, I keep hitting not quite what I wanted. So this towards the constructor, and this away. Then a lift lined up to the constructor, and another lift depositing into the lower container. Alright, just hook that up to there. And now we should have concrete flowing all the way through, down to the bottom. Alright, looking good. I guess we'll go ahead and get rid of these old containers. I think I've got the inventory space. And put anything up in our new containers. How we doing on biomass? Not ideal. You're still outputting, which is a good sign. But I will need to get some gathered before heading out to do anything else. And yeah, for this session, now that we've got a pretty decent setup, actively producing a bunch of resources, I'm thinking that first we'll fix a couple of minor issues with it, hopefully, and then get headed out to actually do some exploring. Here's our favorite bean. Just hanging out on top of this one random belt. Never to leave. Alright. What was I doing? I think I'm gonna dump those excess resources into the appropriate containers, just so that I'm not walking around with a bunch extra. So yeah, just holding shift and clicking to transfer individual stacks into the target container. Oh yeah, I do just have some random limestone. Oh, I don't want that in there. Let's see. Well, let me dump some of those berries and such and the power slug into the personal storage container over here. Just keep it out of the way. I'll be coming back to all of this later. I suppose maybe I'll keep some of the nuts with me, just so that I have a bit of healing available if I need it. And I'm actually carrying around a fair bit of iron rods. Oops. Which I don't need to be having. Oh, that's plates, and that is rods. Okay. Sort. Yeah, that limestone is bugging me, but everything else is looking pretty good. Oh yes, and I never underclocked the limestone miner, so I should do that. Let's actually just turn you off for a second anyway. Alright, and I want you at, I believe it was 75%. There, 45 per minute, and that should match the consumption rate over here. Yep. While I'm waiting for this to give me some room, let's take a quick look at the power grid. Biomass is still flowing, so that's good. Yeah, our theoretical max is right just below our max capacity, which is pretty good. That's probably about the situation we want. Honestly, I kind of lucked into that. I did do a little bit of math on the power draw, but I was realizing I think I omitted some things, such as the constructors for creating biomass, and I also wasn't taking underclocking and overclocking, especially overclocking, into account. So it's a good thing I overbuilt this setup by a fair margin. I think I estimated like 140 megawatts, something like that. And I am glad that I built 6 of these instead, hitting 180 total. Yeah, 180. Alright, let's see if we've got room to dump that limestone. Not even a little. Okay. I can put it into here. Alright, there we go. And now we do need to start thinking about gathering biomass again. Yeah, luckily, yeah, that thing always surprises me a bit every time it flies over. So majestic, though. But we are going to have to start thinking about gathering biomass. It has been nice that now that we're producing solid fuel and we have these fed by conveyor, which you couldn't do before 1.0, that it feels like I've kind of been able to calm down a lot on the power situation. I don't have to constantly be moving to keep this all operational. Right. So let's see. Before we go anywhere, I did want to look into Logistics Mark II, because I was realizing that I made a classic error when planning this thing out, and hadn't realized that my belts were simply not going to be able to move enough resources to allow my machines to operate efficiently. So I think specifically screw production is outputting at, I want to say it is 120, which is what Mark II belts can produce. And biomass production is also limited, though I'm less worried about that since it seems like we'll be fine, even with the limited situation. But I would like to correct that before leaving. So let's select that milestone, and I think I'm going to have to run around and gather up some of those resources I was getting rid of. But let's dump in concrete, and then 4 for rods, and 4 again for plates. Again, okay. And I need 50 reinforced iron plates. So it's a good thing we've got that automated, though I don't know how many are being produced, since these machines cannot be running efficiently due to that screw situation. This belt is the problem. It's just too slow. So I'd imagine these are running at 50%? Ah, yes, and for those who don't know, you can actually see this here gives you a statistic for the efficiency of the machine. I think it averages, like, production over some period of time, like, I don't know, maybe the last few minutes. I do not actually know what the time period is, don't take me at my word there. But you can see they're roughly operating at 50% productivity because screws is limited. It's spending the time sitting here waiting for the screws to come in, and then a new cycle starts up. Our efficiency rises up to 50% over the course of that cycle, and then it consumes the resource and it's at half. It is amazing watching the numbers actually work out, as in, like, we should be getting 120 screws per minute, but a Mark I belt can only move 60. So we're getting half the input we should, and thus 50%. Wow, we have plenty of reinforced plates, actually. That is way better than I was expecting. And yeah, this is the purpose of automation actually finally working out for us. I feel like a lot of times previously I would inefficiently automate something, and then, it wouldn't be producing fast enough to really make an impact. But we've got some decent production running now. Did I put leaves in the wrong bin? No. Okay. Whew. All right. Stop that. Oh, and I never grabbed rods or plates. I know I will have plenty of those, though. So no issue. Alright, let's just transfer a stack. And transfer a stack, sure. Right, should be enough to complete that milestone. Rods and plates.
Milestone reached. Fix-It would like to remind you of your contractual obligation towards efficiency. Recreational use of belts and lifts does not count towards work hours and will put you on the list. Stay efficient, don't disappoint. Fix-It.
I'm sure standing here to watch the freighter every single time also gets me on that list, but what are you gonna do? Ada is so much more judgy in 1.0. Alright, well, we have unlocked Mark II conveyor lifts. Oh, stackable conveyor poles, that will be nice. And Mark II belts. So first of all, let's fix this screw situation. So yeah, I've selected Mark II belts, and you can actually just point at a Mark I belt and straight up swap it out for a Mark II. So just an in-place upgrade. And there, I think that whole line should be running at double speed. And we're hitting a splitter here, which should be splitting into a resource that needs 60, or a machine that does, and another machine that needs 60, so both should be running at full capacity with no issues. And yeah, I like the way that splitters work in Satisfactory, where you unlock them really early on, but the same component, the same splitter, scales to any belt speed. The speed at which the splitter can distribute resources is functionally unlimited. So you use these same things all the way through the game. And I do like that approach. As opposed to, like, I mean, you know, there's lots of things Factorio does well, but it contains, what are they called in that? I can't even remember. But the equivalent component in Factorio scales with belt speed. I just think it's interesting how this one, you know, is useful throughout, and it's one component. To me, it seems like a simpler approach at the very least. I feel like these iron ingots are really glowing when I look at them from a distance. That's kind of a weird effect, just catching the light. All right. Now, that's taken care of, and I assume that these have started slowly rising to 100% productivity. They aren't quite there, but they should be getting there. Interesting that the screw count is slightly over what I would expect, but I think it's staying steady. So yeah, it's being fed at 60, should be consuming at 60, so. And you can see that our power draw has gotten a lot closer to theoretical max, just as a result of getting those machines to be running at an actually efficient pace, because that's also going to put back pressure on miners and smelters and that whole production chain. Iron rods and plates will suddenly be running a lot closer to constant, or really it should be running constant until our containers fill up. Alright, and we might as well also upgrade a few of these belts. So let's look at some output rates. So that's outputting at 60, so I don't need a Mark II there. You are outputting at 300, which is way more than I can accommodate. But I can at least... Oh no. Oh, bud, you're in the way. Please. Oh, I can't move. Okay. Let's see if we can release you. Yeah, get out of here. Alright. And I've got Mark I belt selected. Gonna press E to switch to Mark II. Switch to straight mode, and there. Oh yeah, and I'll also dump any biomass I picked up into here, so that I'm not carrying that around forever. Do have a little bit of wood I can dump in. Ah, there's the freighter re-entering. Can hear it very clearly. Alright. Well, I'm not in a hurry for other milestones, so you can see that there's jump pads to unlock, which are fun to play around with, but I just have never used them very often. So I'm not really in a hurry for that. I guess I'll select the milestone at the very least. But then beyond that, we have to complete phase 1 to get there. And yeah, despite the fact that I'm proud of this starter factory, it just really cannot support much expansion. Not without extending this line of biomass burners, and yeah, probably a little bit of heartache trying to get everything to line up properly. So I kind of suspect that I'm going to try to more or less cheese my way into a higher tier, as in just set up a few assemblers. Once I have a huge backlog of resources, such as these, probably just set up a few assemblers, turn a bunch of production off, and then just feed those assemblers from storage containers directly, something like that. Just trying to make that push into completing phase 1, getting smart plating assembled, which needs rotors and reinforced iron plates. I suppose I could start producing rotors. Let's see how bad that is. Screws and iron rods. That's a bit of a pain because my current screw production is fully dedicated to these machines, as we were just talking about. So yeah, I think for now, I think this is a decent setup. It's at least doing work while I'm away. Yes, and we've got a nice flat power consumption line as well, because everything is just running continuously now. But I think this will run well while I'm away, though I really do need to start gathering some biomass. How are these ones in the end looking? 62, alright, I am on the clock. So let's go pick something up. Maybe I'll go in a slightly different direction. Let's go out here. Alright. And, oof, yeah, I'll take down some of these trees. I always feel bad totally removing the trees of an area. I try to leave some behind, which is maybe a little silly, but I don't want the map to look too dull. I think that some plant material does grow back, but I don't believe that trees do. I'm not certain about that, though. Alright. Oh, wow. Oh, a big tree. For a minute, I thought that was another cave. Right. Just gathering a bit more biomass. Gathering some berries, sure. Oh, this is a nice big wide open area, and I see a slug over there. Yeah, it seems like the chainsaw won't remove the producing plants like berries and nuts unless you explicitly target them. If you target them directly, it definitely will remove them, which is nice because you don't remove a potential resource by accident, but you can get them out of the way if you really want to build somewhere. Oh yeah, this is a nice big flat area. Would have been perfect from the space elevator. Well, Probably still would have gotten hit by that manta. Alright, figure I'll get headed back. Let's get this stuff out of here. It's colliding with the space elevator anyway. Better get headed back and get some biomass actually being processed. Don't want the power to go out before I get things producing. Don't want the power to go out at all, ideally. None of the burners have gone down, which is good. I don't even know if the power grid could survive the loss of a single burner. Leaves and wood actually going through. Okay. $45, okay. Still doing alright. Yeah, luckily our backlog of resources has hopefully seen us through. And I do have some in here in case of emergency. Ooh, but yeah, our consumption is right up against our production. So yeah, let's see, each burner is 30, I think. So yeah, if we lost even one, the grid would crash instantly. But hey, now that we've got some faster lines, our biomass will be getting in there at least as quickly as we can manage at this point in the game. Now, I do want to actually get out and do some exploring, but I want to make sure we leave this place with a good biomass reserve so that it continues chewing away, producing us some resources to come back to. Oh, I ran out of fuel. That's my bad. There was plenty back there. I just didn't think to take it with me because I haven't been using the chainsaw that extensively. Alright, well, let's gather what we can and head back. Oh. Something angry at me. Sounds like a hog. A few of them. A couple of them, at least. That was another. Well, not anymore, seemingly. I think crouch jumping like this is technically slightly faster. It doesn't matter too much at this point. There's a movement upgrade we'll get later that makes it more important. Why aren't... Oh. Completely forgot to turn you back on. I think I was dumping limestone from my inventory and never turned you back on. That's my bad. There we go. Okay, well, these containers are nowhere near full, but I think we're going to be doing pretty good. That outputs 60 per minute, which is more than we need. 300 per minute. Well, is that more than we need? That might not be true. that running at half was still enough. That's right. So leaves alone would see us through. You are full up again. You are full up again. You are filling. Okay, I think we're doing pretty well, honestly. Let's take a look at the map for, I think, the first time that I've intentionally opened this, at least. Unfortunately, there is not much to see right now. We can only see our very local area. Maybe I'll head out south here and explore at least a little bit. I do want to try to find more things that we can put into the MAM for research. Oh, actually, before we leave, some time ago we unlocked the object scanner, and that could be useful while we are out. You might as well take a look at the equipment workbench in general, see if there's anything I'm forgetting. No, doing pretty good. Alright, screws. I don't have a dedicated supply of screws, but I might be able to steal some. These machines were backed up for a long time. Yeah, okay, so they have a lot. Okay, object scanner. Let's go ahead and make that. There we go. And I'll just dump those screws straight back in. Oh, yes, I can't control click in there because it's not a expected target for resources to just dump it into the output. Right. Oh, yes, and the awesome sink, awesome shop. I think we'll take a closer look at those later. I don't really have anything I'd want to feed into the awesome sink. So the idea behind that is that you take excess resources either straight off a production line, or you can feed them in from a storage container, for example. And it converts that into fix-it tickets, which can be redeemed for all sorts of things. And honestly, you actually do want to pursue that. It's not just like a silly side thing. There are lots of very useful things that you can pull out of that awesome shop where you spend the tickets. It's also just a really interesting game mechanic, because Satisfactory is all about throughput, about the rate at which you can pull materials and process materials. Having a place where you can sink excess is often very, very useful, actually. For example, if eventually all these machines that are operating are going to fill up their associated storage containers, and at later points in the game I'll have the ability to set up my production lines such that specifically when situations like that come up, when there's a backup, I can redirect output to an awesome sink, for example, so that I'm not wasting production resources. The machines can still continue to operate at 100% efficiency, pulling resources and processing them. It's just that I'll be getting tickets instead of a huge, volume of resources that I might not need, at least at the time. Alright, let's try to get that power slug that I see hanging out there. Keep an eye out for anything interesting. Limestone node, more iron nodes over here. there's a bean or a tick giraffe thing, as I think the achievement referred to. I was taking a look at that after the fact. I'm pretty sure I've heard the devs refer to them as beans, though. And I've kind of stuck with that because it's, more appealing. More appealing than tick giraffe. Okay, lots of poison clouds over there. This is a pretty nice flat area out here. Maybe I should have been building out here instead. But I like our silly little arch tunnel factory. Nothing wrong with it. Is that another Mercer sphere? I believe so. Got a couple of hogs near it, but I think we can take two at once without too much trouble. Oh, yeah, that close range charge does get me from time to time. Trying to keep up with him. There we go. Nope, surprised me. Okay, another Mercer sphere. It's a weird light effect going on there.
The effigy has no song, only echoes, but it is part of a river. Why does the effigy avoid the windows?
Attention. Your brain's operations are outside typical parameters. Time spent daydreaming will be deducted from your sustenance budget.
Brutal. Yeah, so it seems to me that the implication is that we are hallucinating or, getting telepathic communication during those messages, as opposed to it being Ada who is speaking, even though the voice sounds very similar. My impression from that comment, as well as just kind of the vibe, is that it's us hearing it internally, our perception being modified as opposed to an actual measurable physical phenomenon. But maybe I'm just reading too deep into this. I don't really know what's going on. Lots of slugs around here. And I even saw a yellow one out there, I think. I may have lost track now. What do we got? It's a hog. Alright. In the past... Oh. I was gonna say that in the past I've pretty successfully fought these things from the high ground where they couldn't get to me, but not the case here. I can hear the other, but have lost track of it. Oh, there you are. Okay, you're a little stuck. Oh, not anymore. Alright. So yeah, hogs aren't particularly dangerous, but Mercer sphere out there. So this is what the object scanner is used for, is you can tune it to specific things in the world. I can't seem to recall how to switch it between modes, though. I had assumed it would be like R, like changing build mode. it's left click. Or sorry, right click. Playing on a controller, it's the left trigger, and modifying my thinking to say right instead of left is a little difficult sometimes. But yes, right click is in the non-primary mouse click. Yet another. Yeah, Mercer Sphere, Summer's Loom, Paleberry, Barrel Nut. I still can't tune this thing to slugs. I know you can do that at some point. It was probably not too far down the track there. Here's that manta. Honestly, maybe what I should do is equip this instead. Let's hit one, drop that into our hand, and eat a few of these. Try to get us up a little higher. And then I'm just going to try to straight up run by this thing. Ooh, can I not climb this rock? Okay, let's back off a bit. See if we can get to that Summers Loop up there instead. There's another slug. So what I can do is place a little marker on my map, I believe. I'm trying to remember. I thought you could also place stamps while looking at something. I can't remember how that works, so I'm just gonna look at the map and see if I can place a marker like that. There we go. All right. Let's try to get up here. Oh, there's a nice yellow slug over there. That's the one I was thinking of. See if we can get over there. Oh, it is worth mentioning that, of course, this is a building game, and there's no restrictions on where you can build. So, for example, I could make this very easy on myself and just build a bridge across there. I try not to do that too often, just because I kind of think that forcing myself to explore and like interact with like little platforming puzzles that the devs have left, like this horrible tower, which I will definitely fall off of. But I think it can be fun to do that. And oftentimes when I'm looking for a way up onto a platform like that, I'll discover other hidden things while looking around. So I try to... I think I can climb on some vines. Maybe I'm incorrect about that. I thought that was a mechanic in some locations. I'm just kind of circling here and not really making upward progress. Ooh. Or maybe I was, but I fell off there. A little stuck. But yeah, generally speaking, I am going to try to climb things like this or find pathways. Okay, no reaction from that. As opposed to just trivializing it with building. Oh, I see a little crashed freighter out there. That could be important. I'm not saying I won't occasionally just trivialize something with building. For example, this platform does seem like it's a bit of a pain to get across to, so we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of my thinking on it, is I at least want to try to engage with this stuff without just building a bridge to everything. We'll see. Maybe a bridge is the appropriate reaction to this circumstance, because it seems like this is right at the edge of the map. Or I could just treat this as an area I can't get to until I unlock some more mobility options. Yeah, maybe I'll just leave this be for a little bit. Come back here later. So I know there's a slug right about there. And I know there's a freighter somewhere over here. Something like that. At least having the marker there will remind me to come back this way looking for it. Got some kind of resource down there. I have angered something. Alright, continue gathering stuff up. Oh, I never grabbed fuel for the chainsaw. That's fine, though. At least I don't think I did. Pretty sure I didn't. Yep. Yeah, it's nice knowing that our factory is back there, just continuing to churn away. Oh, there's the hog that's been chasing me this whole time. No. You fell there, bud. Yeah, that space elevator you can see from anywhere on the map. Just a constant landmark, which is really cool. More iron here. And requisite hog. Don't know why these things are always hanging out around resource nodes. You'd think they wouldn't care about them. Hello. These are like Gorons and eat rocks or something like that. Slug. Let's just try to whisk in. Oh, trouble on this tree. I feel like the collider for this thing is just a little weird. But, oh, nope. I thought I could reach it. I can't. I can't get it. Oh, hello. Yeah, so that kind of loop of getting charged at close range repeatedly is what you don't want to have happen with a hog. Most of the time they're relatively harmless, especially when they trip like that. But they can really start whittling you down if if you run into that situation. Can I jump high enough to get on this thing? Bizarre. Okay, well, you know, think, oh man, why do I still have that icon? Interesting. I think I will just build a mild ramp here. Again, not a hard and fast rule. I just don't want to miss out on things that the devs wanted me to experience. But I don't think the glitchy, well, I think glitchy collider on that tree was something that was necessarily intended. Mercer Sphere out there, just hanging out on a pillar on the edge of the map. Okay. What symbol do I want to use for those? So I'll put question marks. That seems appropriate. Oh, this is a nice little area out here. I think that's limestone. 4 iron nodes. More iron up here with me. I wonder if there's any copper nearby here. Not too far. Oh, yeah, there's so many things I could scan for now. I might scan for quartz because, well, there's not any for a long ways at least. Yeah, I am hoping to come across. Oh, wow. Oh, man, I forget how far the scanner can reach sometimes. Way out there. Okay. Let's drop a little marker out there. And I suppose I might as well mark up there. Did I get a marker down? I did. Okay. Oh. Is my mouse? Nope. Okay. I thought maybe the stamp would have stuck to my mouse like before. Yeah, I believe that quartz is the quartz research tree, especially, and Caterium. There's a few things that I'd really like to get off of those before too long. There's a power slug hiding. All right. And yeah, as you can probably tell, the blue slugs are the most common. And then I believe it is yellow beyond that, and then I want to say purple are the least common. And at least before 1.0, and I'm assuming now, the only real difference between those was their rarity and the fact that you can turn the rarer slugs into multiples of power shards. I can't remember. Maybe it's like 3 for yellow and, well, I'm not even going to guess. I don't remember the numbers exactly. But you get the idea. The rarer ones you can turn into sets of shards. Well, maybe next time we head out, we will take a look in the direction of that quartz. Oh, I should also scan for Caterium. Okay, 2 pings. Fairly far, not too far. Okay, on that little island out there. And somewhere I haven't quite been to before. Okay. Alright. Oh my gosh, you just really want to be there, don't you? You really do. Okay. Okay. Alright. Is there any other research we can do so far? I don't think so. Need to find Sam, for one. Summer's Loop. Okay, so that's required to unlock this, and then... Oh, I see. No, that's something off the Sam chain, probably from here. Okay. Oh yeah, I guess I was forgetting. I think that these lock icons indicate that it just unlocks further progression down the tree, though you don't necessarily get anything directly from it. I think that's how that works. I need here rotors, DNA capsules, and rebar. Rotors. Oh, okay, that's well within the realm of possibility. Steel is beyond us at the moment. Okay, Caterium, quick wire, and then zip line, stun rebar. Okay. Stun rebar, I feel like I have used fairly extensively in my other playthroughs. It is nice to be able, with some especially dangerous creatures, to stun them for a brief period of time so you can get in some hits. There's the scannable for slugs. Yellow slugs. Okay. And quartz. I really want to work towards the Blade Runners down here. I will need modular frames to get them. And silica. That is, I believe, pretty achievable. Oftentimes in the early game for things like that, you know, research targets, I will, I'll just set up a little temporary bit of production or just handcraft just to specifically get that unlock. Oh, hello. Keep running into you. Okay. Let's get heading out that way. Do a quick save. That's going to be the end of today's episode. Thank you all for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.